a great freshie and a Tom Ford Oud Wood clone. Both of them from Armaf and both of them very cheap. Hello friends, I'm George, the nice smelling gentleman. Welcome back to the channel guys, I hope that all of you are doing well. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, and it's time to review two very cheap offerings from the brand of Armaf. The first one is part of the Odyssey line and it's called Odyssey Limoni, and the second one is part of a new line of fragrances that are called Armaf Unique, and this one in particular is called Oud Forever. I'm going to start with the Oud Forever, which is a clone of Tom Ford's Oud Wood. The presentation of Armaf Unique's Oud Forever, as you can see, comes in a white colored box with some golden accents. On the front you get the name of the fragrance, the concentration, which is EDP in this case. On the back you get some additional information along with the bottle size, which is 100 milliliters. It's a nice thick cardboard box that has a sort of an soft finish, so it feels nice in hand. The bottle itself has this sort of a golden finish, and the glass up front and on the back has a bit of an ambery color. The cap is plastic, but it's a snug fit, and the whole bottle feels pretty nice in hand. It's not overly heavy, and I kind of like the bottle design. As I said, Armaf Unique Oud Forever is a clone of Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Now, if you look up this fragrance on Fragrantica, you'll see that a lot of people have voted this one to actually smelling similar to Alexandria 2 from Zerzhov. If you do that, don't try and get this fragrance expecting that this will smell like Alexandria 2, because it just does not smell. Maybe people are looking simply at the note breakdown and are assuming that this smells like Alexandria 2, but in reality it just does not smell. It smells pretty similar to Oud Wood. Now, it's not a straight up clone of the Tom Ford fragrance as well, but definitely it smells quite a bit like it. I'm going to show you the sprayer in action. It's a decent sprayer, has good distribution. And the scent itself, if you are familiar with the way that the Tom Ford fragrance smells, you'll immediately recognize that, what was the name? Oud Forever actually smells very similar to Oud Wood. But again, it doesn't feel like a straight up clone. This feels more airy, it feels slightly fresher, it feels a little bit greener, and a little bit more balsamic take on the scent of Oud Wood. Now, it has a bit of agar oud somewhere in the background. It captures quite well the spiciness of the opening of the original scent, but it just adds a bit of freshness, and it also adds a bit of a green touch, which makes it fresher, lighter, and just more airy, when you spray it for the first time. On the dry down, it will get a little bit closer. You'll get a hint of the agar oud note, just like you get with the original fragrance. But again, this even on the dry down still feels fresher, it feels lighter, and has a bit of a balsamic feel as well. Something that I don't get out of the original scent. Just think of this one as being a more airy, a fresher, and a greener take on the scent of Tom Ford Oud Wood. Now, in the air it will smell pretty similar, but up close you'll definitely pick up the differences between Oud Forever and the original fragrance from Tom Ford. Performance-wise, when I initially got this fragrance and I tried it for the first few times, this was more on the moderate side when it comes to performance. It was giving me about 6 hours, but about a month and slightly over a month of just sitting around and macerating. This fragrance has definitely improved a little bit when it comes to performance. Nowadays, actually, gives me close to 7 hours of performance. The projection is nice for the first about hour and a half. But still it projects more on the moderate side, when it comes to the strength of the projection. So performance-wise, definitely not the strongest fragrance in the world, but it's not super weak either. Price-wise, I personally paid about 20 to 23 euros to get it, which, if you're looking for a cheap alternative to Oud Wood, that definitely, this can qualify as something like that. At that price point, I think it's an okay deal. And versatility-wise, it's a fragrance, it's a scent profile that definitely is more associated with the colder months of the year, but simply because of the freshness and the sort of the airiness that this fragrance has, this can be worn pretty much all year round. And now let's move on to the second fragrance featured in today's video, which is called Odyssey Limoni, and this is a real gem from Armaf in my opinion, and one of my best pickups from Armaf in the past year. Now, this fragrance is sort of inspired by, I cannot call it exactly a clone, but the inspiration for this one has definitely come from Louis Vuitton's Afternoon Swim. The box of Odyssey Limoni from Armaf is very colorful, very bright looking. It comes in this dual toned finish. You get on two sides you get a lot of yellow color with some green accents, and then some parts of the box are colored in green. It's actually very nice looking. And the packaging is very similar to the other members of the Odyssey line. The important things here: bottle size is 100 milliliters and the concentration is EDP. The bottle design of Odyssey Limoni, again exactly the same as with any other member of the Odyssey line, coming in yellow and green colors. It's a very goofy bottle design. The cap is very plasticky, but at least it's a very snug fit, and the whole bottle actually has quite a bit of heft. Now let's move on to the scent of Armaf Odyssey Limoni, and let me tell you something, I really like this fragrance. It smells absolutely fantastic. The sprayer is good, in fact quite good, has very good distribution, and I'm a huge fan of the opening of the scent. Especially the opening is superb. If you like citrusy based fragrances with a strong lemon note, you'll definitely enjoy a lot Odyssey Limoni. The opening is basically like a cocktail of a lot of citruses. You get a strong lemon note, you get some orange, you get some mandarin, you get some ginger, a bit of bergamot. It's just a very fresh, very uplifting, very bright, sort of a very colorful opening. Super nice fragrance in the opening. Somewhere in the background there's a bit of a green tea vibe as well, something that gets stronger actually on the dry down, also with a hint of amber sweetness. When the more this goes into its dry down, you start to lose, of course, a bit of that freshness from the opening, a bit of that brightness, and on the dry down, that green tea note actually becomes a little bit stronger. The fragrance becomes a little bit sweeter thanks to the amber note, and also on the deep dry down, I also pick up quite a bit of musk. Especially on the deeper dry down, this becomes quite musky. But it's a very easy to wear fragrance that smells absolutely fantastic, especially in the opening. The inspiration for this one has been Afternoon Swim, but this it's not a straight up clone. This feels like a way brighter, way more citrusy version of Afternoon Swim, and this is for those of you who are not looking for a clone of Afternoon Swim, rather than something done in a similar style but with a lot of added freshness. Performance wise, initially I expected this one to be more on the moderate side because of how fresh it feels, and it felt on the moderate side initially, but after about a month of maceration, this actually has started to improve quite a lot, and nowadays gives me over 7 hours of performance, something that I personally take as a very good performing fresh scent. Projection wise, it will project for about an hour and a half, maybe about an average projection when it comes to the power of it, but still I think simply thinking about how fresh this one is, I think this performance is quite good. Price wise, it's again a very cheap scent. I personally paid around about 20 euros to get it, which at that price point I think it's an absolute steal, to be honest. And versatility wise, it's a very versatile scent that can be worn pretty much all year round, but the best time to wear this one will be in the summer. And at the end, a few final words about Oud Forever and Odyssey Limoni. Oud Forever is an interesting sort of a fresh, more airy and slightly green take on the original scent of Tom Ford's Oud Wood. I will not call it the best clone of the original scent, but definitely if the original one is a little bit too dark for you and you're looking for something done in a similar style but with more freshness and airness and easy to wear, then I think Oud Forever definitely can be a contender for such a fragrance. I personally like the original scent a lot, and to be honest, this fresher take is not exactly up to my liking, but the fragrance itself is not bad. The star of the show though for me has definitely been Armaf Odyssey Limoni. This smells absolutely fantastic, it smells very bright, it smells very uplifting, and it has a really nice opening. It's been inspired by Afternoon Swim from Louis Vuitton, but this is like a way more citrusy, take on that original scent. Also has a bit of a green tea vibe in it. It's musky, it has a bit of sweetness. Very nice, very masculine and very easy to wear fragrance that on top of all that is very cheap and also has a very decent performance. So guys, in today's video I reviewed two of the latest Armaf releases, Odyssey Limoni and Oud Forever. I hope that you found this video interesting to watch. If you did, give it a like, and I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye bye.